Hi guys, and in this lesson we will be learning about tables in HTML. Now to start off with, I quickly added two style tags, an opening style tag and a closing style tag with some styling for our tables in order for us to see it easier in the browser, the boundaries and things like that. Okay. In order to create a table in HTML, we need a table tag. So let's add a table tag. So we have our opening table tag and we have a closing table tag. Now I want to add another style tag here of width 100%. So this I'm just doing to get it like quickly so we can quickly style it. Later on we will style this in CSS, not straight like this HTML structure. Okay. The next thing we will need is a table row. Okay. Now we need headings for our table, so let's add a TH, stands for table headings. TR stands for table row. So this table heading, we're going to put name. Add another table heading of model. And another table heading of engine. NG. Right. So let's open this in the browser. Let's open it with live server. Now, as you can see, we got our table row. Now in HTML, you will see when you work with tables, you have to not think on how to create columns, think on how to create rows. Everything works in rows. Okay. So as you can see, a table heading automatically bold in the font and they place them in the center of your columns. Alright, so let's go back to VS Code. Right, so let's create another row for our data. Now, so let's say, as you can see, we have a row for our headings. Now we're creating a row for our first column, first row of our data. So let's put TD. Now that stands for table data. So it's quite easy to remember. So you have a TR for table row, PH for table heading. So you cannot get confused that easily. So let's say the name, let's make an example for it. So this table, this first table data corresponds to the first one of the name. So let's add a second one, table data of the model. Let's say Mustang. This one corresponds to the model. Then we add another table data, the third one that will correspond to the third one over there. So let's go to engine, let's say V8. Alright, let's save that. Let's open it up with live server and see how it looks like. Right, so we have our name, model, and engine. So that's the table row that we created first. This is the second table row that we created. As you can see, we have our Ford in the column of name. We have our Mustang in the column of model. And we got our V8 in the column of engine. Right, how cool is that? Let's create another row. So what we're going to do is we're going to add another TR, the TDs. So let's do that quickly in VS Code. Alright, so let's add another one here. So we're going to add our table row. As you can see the pattern with the table rows. Okay, so let's add a table data with Mazda. Let's add, you see this one will correspond to the table name. So let's add another table data with model RX7. Let's put another table data of engine. Now this one corresponds to the engine. Let's put it in there. Say rotary. Okay. So let's open it in the browser again. Sorry. Now, as you can see, we added another row, and you can continue the process, adding another row and another row. And you'll see the model corresponds to the model, the engine corresponding to the heading there. Let's get back to VS Code. Now, let's say you don't want the headings to be on top. You want the headings to be here and the data to be just next to it. We can do that as well in HTML. So let's do that straight away in VS Code. Right, let's create another table for that. So we're going to open a table. Right. And I'm just going to add two style tags. One is width, 100%. And the other one is margin top. Just to create some spacing between the tables. Let's say 4. Okay. So as you can see, we will add another table row. But this time we'll put our table heading. We'll call it name. We're going to put our table data next to it. We're going to call it John Doe. All right. Let's see how this looks like in the browser. Let's open it with live server, and voila. You got your name this side and you got your data on the other side. Instead of if you want to create the columns like this. So you can have it actually like this, straight next to each other. Let's go back to VS Code and add some more. Let's say the telephone number here, telephone, the name, the heading, and the telephone number right next to it. Let's do that quickly in VS Code. All right, so let's go and create another table row. As you see, the pattern, you need to like the rows. Let me create a table heading. Let's say telephone. And then straight under it, we're going to put our table data of, say, 777, 777, another 777, quadruple. Right. So let's see how this looks like. As you can see, we added our telephone there and the number right there. But now comes a tricky thing. Now let's say sometimes the telephone, you've got two telephone numbers that you want to add there. You can do that as well in HTML. So let's say you want to add one number here and another number just next to it. Let's quickly do that in this code. Now, in order to do that, let's say our table heading, we're going to add a row span of 2. Now, we add underneath that, we're going to add another table row with table data of, let's say, the second number. Now, let's save. Let's open it with live server. As you can see, we added our 2 numbers right there. The telephone here, and we got our 2 numbers like that. But what if we have the columns like this and we want to split it right there, instead of saying like we got 2 V8 engines. We got 2 engine types for the Mustang. We have a V8 and we have a V10. Now let's do that as well in VS Code. In order to do that, let's go to our table heading for engine. We're going to add col span, meaning column span for 2. Now we're going to add underneath the table data of the V8, we're going to add a V10 as well. Right, so let's see how this looks like in the browser. Let's open with live server. As you can see, we added the two engines. Right, and here you can see we added the two numbers. Right, so that brings us to an end of this episode. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. I'll try and respond to them as soon as I can. And yes, I will see you guys in the next episode. And if you like this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel as we upload videos to our channel. Then you can get notified of them. And thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.